Welcome back to RBP. I am Ross Bolen, joined as per usual by Jared Borislow, here today to make you laugh, make you cry from laughing, hopefully. But seriously, we've all had a long, arduous summer. So use this hour to unplug with Billy and the Bone Man. J-Bone, how are you?
I'm good. I recommend they unplug with everything but whatever is plugged in that they're listening to us on.
Right. 98% unplugged.
Yeah.
J-Bone?
I'm doing good. I had a very nice long trip. The longest vacation I've been on in a while.
Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah. The Northwoods. Ross, you know what the Northwoods are?
No.
They're woods that are really far up north.
Ah. The heartland, they call it.
It's pretty much the border of the United States and Canada, like, you know, probably like Montana might be Northwoods, but like Minnesota, Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan. That's the Northwoods, baby.
What is the heartland? That's not up all the way up north.
The heartland, I guess,
is that Middle America?
I think so, but like Middle America is not very hardy. Well, it is because they eat a lot of bad food. But
what's there though? What's in the middle?
Corn. A lot of corn, a lot of wheat.
Nebraska?
Yeah, that's
Idaho? Are those in the middle?
Why do we like you would think that we'd put like the best stuff in the middle because it's the hardest to get to, right? Like
right.
Maybe like
Protect
the US
it.
like US Capitol should be in like Nebraska.
We loaded that shit up all on the coast. Easy access.
Yeah.
What the hell? Not very strategic.
And in the middle we put the corn, which funnily enough is like the number one thing we send out of the country. So we actually made it really hard to export corn by putting it all in the middle.
Speaking of which, did you milk any cows when you were in Wisco?
Not any cows, no.
Do people call it Wisco? Is that a thing?
It's more of a thing that people who aren't from Wisconsin and have never been to Wisconsin do, is call it Wisco.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like, the worst is whiskey, like WISCY. That's the worst. Oh, dude, you went to whiskey? Like,
Going up
nobody
Whiskey
calls
Way.
it that. I do say Wisco, but I wouldn't refer to like Wisconsin as Wisco.
Have you ever milked a cow?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. When and why?
I think his name was Cow.
Oh, wow. I milked a real cow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was like 12 years old on a field trip.
How was it? Did you strip?
I don't know. Just in hindsight, I feel like they could have been teaching us something else, you know?
Yeah. Maybe, but like, did you drink a lot of milk growing up?
Yeah, of course. We're going to talk a lot about this today, about big milk.
Oh.
We are. Milk Crate Challenge. Taking over the whole damn internet, Jared. It's a real problem.
I told you one of the most Florida things about me growing up is that I didn't like milk, so what I would drink instead to get calcium was orange juice with calcium added to it.
Wow.
That's the Floridian milk, they call it.
Turns out that was actually the move. Because milk itself, not great, you know, for you as a human being. I had another good weekend myself, though. Been doing a lot of yard work, learning the joys of lawn maintenance, using all manner of mowers and whackers and trimmers. I totally understand these yard of the month people now. Having a badass lawn shows everyone that you have your shit so together that even your lawn is in order. Obviously, if you pay someone else to do landscaping, that doesn't really count. But like tending to the land seems like it would be lame, right? It's one of those things like as a kid, if you get made to mow the lawn, you're like, I want to play video games and masturbate. But Jared, I really feel something when I dig my hands into that soil. I'm a farmer now, Jared, because I mowed my lawn twice and milked a cow when I was 12 on a school field trip. That's what I'm saying.
Don't they call you the judge because you're all about lawn and order?
Exactly.
Keeping your lawn in order?
Exactly. Good lawn joke there.
Thank you.
Great dad joke. Seriously, shouts to farmers. Sometimes I wish I was one. I doubt very many farmers are worried about how many follows they catch on TikTok today. And back to what we were saying about that field trip. As a now grown man, like instead of the how to milk a cow and forcing me to and like getting a few tugs into the bucket or whatever, maybe how to pay my taxes or do simple math instead of milking a cow. Because now I'm 34 and I can't add. And I have to pay someone else to pay the government for me.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on that. And you got to wonder if that's intentional. Like, hey, you know what? We're just not going to teach anything about how to manage your money after you turn 18.
It's all part of the system, man.
Could be. Speaking of farmers, I love that. Remember that old Super Bowl commercial that went like mega viral probably like 7 years ago where they had that, I don't remember his name, Paul something, the guy, so God made a farmer.
Giamatti.
It was not, I don't think it was Paul Giamatti.
Oh.
But
Bunyan.
That great, I wish, that's a Northwoods guy. You know, Paul Bunyan lived in the Northwoods. One fact.
Chopped some of them down, he did.
Him and his blue ox, Babe.
Babe, the blue ox. Giant blue ox.
And I heard Paul Bunyan had blue balls because he lived in the Northwoods. Not a lot of women up there.
Babe's somehow the weirdest part of the Bunyan story. The giant man with an axe. You could see how that would come to be a fishtail. Where the hell did this giant blue ox come from?
Are ox native to North America?
Oxen? I don't even know. I feel like that's like a Canadian Yukon thing.
It's like it's only in like Sid Meier's Civilization 2. Oxen pulling a wagon.
You're thinking of Oregon Trail.
Speaking of pulling a wagon, Paul Bunyan, dude's got a big fat juicy ass.
Wow. Thick as hell though.
I mean, he's only like 7'9".
I heard they catch people parked behind the statue cranking to his wagon.
Yeah, that's a big Northwoods attraction. And it's like, you know how a lot of places have a speed trap in like a non-heavily populated area? They have a crank trap behind the Paul Bunyan statue. But that's how they make a lot of money in the county.
I got one of those downtown Austin behind the Westlake Dermatology billboard.
Billboards?
Did you know that?
I didn't know. I live right across from one of those, so I don't have to. I just look out the window.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, get out the binocs. Get a better view. Anyway, I never could have been an accountant. Math is the enemy, which is going to take us, Jared, to our first segment. But first, Jared, it is summertime. It is hot outside, very hot. Hot as balls, some might say, and your balls need a safe space to spend these scorching months. Enter our sponsor for today's show, Birddogs, making the most comfortable shorts in the world in which you can go for a swim, climb a tree, play cricket. They also make pants for golf, for life, for love, for swimming. If you want to be part of the revolution like Jared and I, swimming in pants all summer 2021, Birddogs, incredibly comfortable shorts with built-in underwear. The pants have built-in underwear as well, but nobody's going to know because you're going to look great. Just cheating the system, winning at life. And frankly, they make the pants without the built-in underwear and the shorts as well if you don't want to be as hardcore of a rebel like Jared and I. What's more, Jared, do you remember when you were a little boy and you'd get a fast food meal or perhaps a box of cereal and have a toy in it? That's how Birddogs does you. If you go to birddogs.com and use the code RBP when you check out, you'll get a whistling football with your order, a free whistling football with your incredibly comfortable shorts. Jared can't whistle for shit. I will do it for him. Free whistling football, birddogs.com, code RBP.
Fun fact.
Free whistling football.
The wedding I was at, somebody goes, "Hey, is that you or Ross who does the whistle? Like, that's a really good whistle." They
No
listen to the
shit.
pod, yeah.
I do have it's like a very underappreciated skill for me, and I'll do it like in front of the baby sometimes or like my girlfriend, and they're just so unimpressed. So it's often only the birds out back that appreciate
And the bees.
the way I whistle. That and the Yin Yang Twins. When
Whistle
song
while
comes
you
on.
twerk.
Sure. So the segment that I was referring to before our ad read there was random careers you would crush. We once did a version of this. It was called, I think it was like random criminal careers you would crush, where we said which criminal line of work we think we were best suited for. I believe that was actually in the pre-J-Bone era. Now, we're going to do normal careers, above the board, legal, you know? Because over the weekend, along with the yard work, being the domesticated man that I am, I also did quite a bit of house cleaning. And I have put a lot of thought into this take. And I believe, down in my core, that if I chose the career path of housekeeper, maid, cleaning person, whatever, that I could be the GOAT. Like the greatest, I'm talking to ever dust a set of window shades. I'm tall, 6'2", okay, but I've got a great wingspan, and I'm like a fucking twig person. I'm built like, I've got chicken legs.
Gumby.
I can squeeze behind couches, shelves. I can get anywhere, man. I've got a great wingspan to weight ratio. I can climb on things. They don't break. GOAT of cleaning houses if I wanted it. Impeccable vacuuming form. Mild OCD, so I'm meticulous in my methodology when it comes to cleaning all areas. Toilets included, disgusting things included. I'm usually disassociated, so even disgusting tasks, they don't faze me. Because it's like I'm hovering above my body, watching myself clean the toilet. It's mildly amusing.
You dissociate while cleaning toilets?
All the time. Toilets are cleaner when I am done with them than they were coming out of the factory.
Could you eat out of one of your toilets, soup? Could you eat chicken noodle soup out of one of the toilets?
Like,
after
would
you
I
clean it?
trust a toilet cleaned by me to serve as a soup bowl?
Yeah.
Yes, but just for the challenge, not for like regular everyday life.
So what your motto could be for your cleaning service is Ross Bolen turns a poop bowl to a soup bowl.
That's a Bolen bowl. That's what people say when your porcelain shines like a star in the night sky.
Kind of sounds more like bowling ball than Bolen bowl. I don't know.
That's the play on words.
How about
it's a triple entendre.
Ross Bolen, just put a W in there. But you only clean toilets. You can usually charge more when you specialize, you know? They're like, you know what? Most people clean everything. This guy only cleans the toilet, but like he does it really, he must because that makes a living off of only cleaning toilets.
Specialist. I could be a specialist, a toilet specialist.
I consider myself an amateur toilet specialist.
I do know a little about the inside of the toilet too. Like I can get in there. I'll take the lid off, jingle stuff around, jangle it around, fucking poke around in there.
Do an upper decker?
Not be able to fix it, lay a turd, close it. Yeah, sure. Why not?
When's the last time anybody did an upper decker? In which, if you're not familiar, an upper decker is when you take the
lid
tank,
off the toilet tank,
lid off the toilet tank, sit on it,
poop in it,
take a dump into it,
and then you put the tank lid back on because there's no flushing that, and then essentially it destroys the toilet. Like you have to, it makes the toilet owner fish out your poo. That's what it does.
There's nothing you can do to not fish out. You have to fish out the poop.
Which, if you've committed an upper decker in the past 2 years, you are an asshole.
Yeah.
Because nobody deserves that right now. Nobody deserves to go try to use their toilet and find someone has turded in the upper deck.
What you can do, though, if you want to save money, you know how some people really like to have blue water in their toilet?
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, it looks fancy. It looks like it was just cleaned.
My grandma used to be one of these people. She had like a thing in there that would like drip the fancy soap into the, yeah.
So what you can do is instead of having blue water, if you want to have yellow water, you could just pee into the upper deck tank. And then eventually, once that's full of pee enough, the water will be pee.
Right. Why would you want that?
It's changed.
Why would any living human do that to themselves? Just for the fun of the color change.
I have peed into an upper deck of a toilet before.
You're that bored. Why?
I can't answer that.
You're just a sinner.
It was in a gas station, and there was no tank. And I had been drinking. I did not drive there. I was not drinking and driving.
There was no
passenger.
tank?
No, there was no lid.
Bowl?
There was no lid.
Oh, lid. So you just went for it.
I had 3 options. I could pee in the sink, I could pee in the toilet, or I can pee in the tank.
And you went with the fun one.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean,
That fucked the least amount of people.
Yes.
Because if you pee in the sink, you're an animal. And if it's a public sink, or a sink that anyone else is using, you should be buried.
I mean, I believe Big Cat has this whole bit about peeing in sinks, though.
It's true. And he is my mentor, but he should be buried for what he did. I don't know why I'm saying it that way.
Because I say it like that.
Buried. But yeah, Big Cat did used to pee in the Barstool like office sink a lot, and I think once they got bought by a multi-billion-dollar media corporation, Chernin, they were like, "Hey, you can't do that anymore." Because I remember him having to confront this on social media and change his life for the better. I hope. I think he's still peeing in the sink at home, if I remember correctly.
I mean, we've all peed in the sink. Pee in the shower. I'll say right now, I pee in the shower constantly. I pee in the shower every day.
I'm a Costanza guy. I pee in the shower. I see nothing wrong with it.
It saves water.
That water is going straight down the toilet.
It saves water. If you're peeing, like...
I hide it. I hide it from my girlfriend when I pee in the shower. Like, sometimes I'll be in the shower by myself, and she's not even in there. She's not even in the room. But I'm like, what if she walks in while I'm peeing in the shower, and I'll feel shame? I don't know. It's just something about like somebody else watching me go to the bathroom at all, frankly, that I don't want. It's got nothing to do with the shame of peeing in the shower specifically. But so what I do is... No, it does have to do with the shame of peeing in the shower specifically. Yeah. So what I do is I point the shower head down in a way that I try to disguise it as much as possible. So, because it'll make your pee flow makes a different noise than the actual shower hitting the ground flow.
Yes.
So a keen ear like mine, if I hear somebody peeing in the shower, I know what's happening immediately. So I try to do my best to spare her that knowledge, but I do it.
Here's what I do.
All the time.
If you put your head under the water, it starts creating a very thick sound of water landing on the bottom. So then you can pee in the shower, and they just think, oh, he's washing his hair. I thought a lot about it. I do this.
See?
Yeah, I mean, if you...
We shouldn't be ashamed about this, though, shower peers. We shouldn't have to hide in the shadows anymore. It's 2021. It's a perfectly sanitary act. Scientists and doctors have spoken to its safety, I'm sure.
It saves water.
And it saves the planet, Jared. We are heroes, shower peers. Heroes. And we're being shamed and put in corners. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hiding. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to exclaim. Every time I'm peeing in the shower, urinating in my clean space now, I'm going to yell it out. I'm peeing! And everyone's going to have to know whether they like it or not. I also think I would be a great race car driver, since we're on the topic.
That is the most shocking thing I've ever heard you say.
Right. If not for the panic attacks behind the wheel, this would be another one that I believe I would be good at. No highways in race car driving, though, Jared. So the panic attacks would be fewer and further between. And I figure, like, Xanax can't possibly be against their drug policy.
Well, I think Denny Hamlin said he would do Adderall before races. So,
are you serious?
Yeah, he got in a lot of trouble for that. I think he might have got a ban for a race or something.
How did his heart not explode?
I don't know.
My Siri just goes, I'm always Siri, us.
That was weird.
I don't like Apple anymore.
Can you ask it something?
No, I don't want it to. I don't like that it can just fucking listen to my entire life. I don't even know what that even means, but I don't like, and I'm the guy who said they can have all my data. I don't care. There's no value in this. This guy shops for shoes twice a month. Who gives a flying fuck? Serve me whatever ads. That, though, listening to my takes for free? How do I know Siri even heard the ad reads? How do I know Siri supports Liquid IV?
Stop saying Siri. You're going to trigger it. Okay, for me.
Sorry, I got upset.
Something I think I could be good at.
What would you be good at?
Truck driver. Here's why. I love driving. Love it. Very much enjoy it. However, the one situation I don't like driving in is like two-way like country road where the speed limit's like 60. Like, those freak me out. There's two cars. I'm driving. It doesn't matter how safe I am. That jackass goes 5 feet over to the left. He's going head on to me at 60 miles an hour.
This is exactly my motorcycle argument, which has motorcycle people very upset right now on TikTok. But yes, man. What can you? We know math at some level,
yeah.
Right? Like, I can't add, but I do know, like, probabilities on some level. I can look at a situation and go, my odds here are good or bad. Whoever said it was totally fine for us to have one fucking road with two lanes going opposite directions at 60 plus is an ass.
So I hate that. Otherwise, my favorite thing to do is drive on a highway where it's like 4 lanes one way, then a massive median with 2 fences in between, 4 lanes the other way. I love driving on highways. Just going 70, listen to a podcast, have some music on. It's sunny out. You've got like a iced coffee or like a nice big gulp next to you.
Oh, God.
Big gulps.
God.
Was it the Dumb and Dumber line?
Well,
big
see
gulps.
you later.
Big gulps. Yeah, I love it.
That's what he says. Well, see you later.
I don't think it's that. So truck drivers, I know sometimes they have to drive on the shitty, but like I try to only pick routes where it's like, hey, hop on I-35 and go from Austin to Minneapolis, and then you don't get out the whole time. And then obviously, you get to live in the truck. It's kind of cool.
Sure. Also, you love meth and masturbating behind the wheel.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, shouts to the truck drivers.
Yeah. No. Another group of America's frontline heroes that are underappreciated because they're out there just cranking and shooting crank and driving for hours on end.
Ross is kidding. We love our truck drivers.
No, we do love truck drivers.
Do you know why, Ross? Truck drivers, most underappreciated group of podcast listeners in the world.
Damn, that's a really good point.
There's definitely like at least 15 truck drivers listening right now, potentially cranking.
Yeah.
And we love them.
And shooting crank. And we do love you. And speaking of small groups of listeners like our truck drivers, our farmers, the RBP farmers have always been a big part of our listenership, where people will send us photos of them listening to the show while they're on their tractor or whatever. And that shit's always been really cool to me. So shout out to the farmers and the truck drivers.
And pilots. We had a pilot DM us.
And the race car drivers. And to finish my argument, I do like to go fast, just not on the highway. And I've seen what kind of crashes those dudes can survive, and I feel good about my odds of like avoiding a crash. I've been a phenomenal crash avoiding driver my whole life. Knock on wood. And I just feel like it's a simple circle, Jared. I feel like I could handle that. The NASCAR version of it anyway. F1 maybe a little more, I don't know. That I'm not so comfortable with. I'm talking NASCAR specific here. F1, that's a different beast.
You can't handle the downforce.
I can't. I don't even know what it is. And certainly not if drivers are out there on Adderall. If they're on uppers, I'm out. They've just got the upper hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Those are the only 2 things I could think of that I would be good at, though. Cleaning person could be the GOAT. And then I think I could be a mediocre race car driver.
So truck driver's 1. My number 2 is real estate agent.
Oh, you think you'd slang properties?
I would slang so much property.
I'd buy a fucking house from you, J-Bone.
I've always said this, Ross. Like, there was a time in my life, worked at Grand X. I got out of content for like 2 years, and I was in marketing. And I was like, honestly, if content and marketing don't work out,
You're gonna go do real estate?
I was legitimately like I was probably like 60% of the way to being like, you know what, fuck it, I want to do real estate.
I have a cousin who does it. Just like started his own little real estate thing. I've got a couple friends who do it as well. It's obviously a lucrative area of business to be in if you were in it in Austin.
Yes.
Sometimes I want to hit up my realtor that helped me buy Bolen Media HQ and ask him if I can have some money because I feel like he's probably doing really well.
Yeah. Yeah, you get, what do they get, like 15% or something crazy?
Yeah, and in this market, people are paying like $100K over asking, which is insanity.
You could sell like 3 houses in a month and then be like, okay, cool, I don't have to work the rest of the year.
Right?
Probably bad for your business, like your Rolodex of clients if you just don't work.
Yeah.
But, you know.
You want to hustle this out.
But like I was thinking, what if I get my following on social media to like 50K and I just like, okay, I'm going to real estate now. Just need to convert one of these losers a year.
And it's
good.
over?
Yeah.
Maybe don't call your client base losers, though.
They're not going to listen to this.
What would you name your real estate company?
Golden Schlong Properties.
I like Boneland Realtors. That's what I'd go with.
Bone City.
Don't say Brigade.
I mean, this properties is one. You got land.
Land?
Yeah,
I don't know. I already gave mine, Jared.
Yeah.
What else would you be good at?
Oh, chef.
Chef.
Yes. Love cooking. The only reason why I would never consider chef is because I've interacted with many chefs and people who tried it out and were like, literally worst decision in my life.
They're also mostly degenerate because you have to be to survive that lifestyle.
Chefs, like, everybody's like, I love cooking and I wish I just didn't do chef life. Like, you stand on your feet for like 12 hours a day. You get in there, for a restaurant, you get in there early because you have to prep all the food. The higher up you are, the more crazy it is. You have to deal with all the vendors, bringing in produce, bringing in meat, bringing in seafood. You got to make sure it's all fresh. You got to make sure that every day, oh shit, the mayo from 4 days ago is bad. We got to make more mayo randomly. Like,
oh God, there's an onion shortage.
Imagine, you know how hard it is? Like, a lot of people hate grocery shopping and they don't even do that much. And when they do, they freak out. And they're
That's
like,
a big
God.
part of being a chef. You're essentially grocery shopping for a whole restaurant.
And you're planning out for like things you couldn't even possibly predict. How the hell do we know we were going to get a group in where 8 of them got steak? We figured that was enough steak for 2 days. It was enough steak for like what the hell?
Yeah, you know how they end up like you pushing all the fuck. They're like, ooh, we've got a special today. It's the salmon a la, and you're like, wow, that sounds great. Well, that's because the chef ordered too much salmon.
Yeah, that's a special like.
And they're about to go bad, so they got to get rid of that shit.
And the reason they make the specials always sound better than the menu is literally because like
they need to get rid of that.
They need to get rid of it, and it's like, okay, oh my God, wow, like
it's a stock problem.
Wow,
if there is a special, it means the restaurant has a stock problem, and they're trying to unload it. But as consumers, even me saying this out loud right now, the next time I sit down and they say, "Do you want to hear the specials?" I'm gonna go, "Yeah." And then I might get stoked on one and order it. I don't give a shit that they're about to be out of it.
Do you know why they do no substitutions? Because if they have everybody substituting the green beans for broccoli, they can't plan out the broccoli and green beans very well.
Ooh, how do you like them apples? Yeah, some restaurants are real anal about the changes. Like they won't even. But now, as we get more into the 2020s, I feel like restaurants feel more forced to
customize.
Yeah, for people with dietary restrictions and specific dietary needs, right?
My dietary need is I need to eat whatever I want.
My dietary need is Liquid IV, who coincidentally is sponsoring this episode. The hot summer months are here. We need to be proactive in keeping our bodies fueled up and hydrated. Making hydration a priority helps us feel healthier on a day-to-day basis and fuels us to our highest potential. 1 stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates faster and more efficiently than water alone. Not only that, the product tastes great. Flavors like watermelon, strawberry, lemon, lime. Sounds like summer, doesn't it, Jared?
Oh my God. I was just at this wedding and I brought 2 bags of Liquid IV for my cabin.
They're gone, aren't they?
They were gone like a day and a half in.
No, people love it. And every single person I've ever introduced Liquid IV to is a huge fan of it. I've said multiple times, my mom's entire pantry is stocked with like ridiculous amount of Liquid IV. Our entire pantry here at Bolen Media headquarters, we probably have a year's supply and I am not joking. We've actually been giving away Liquid IV on Patreon because we have so much. Liquid IV is phenomenal. They also have their Hydration Multiplier Plus Immune Support, which you can see behind Jared if you're watching on video. And it's the orange bag. It's got a cutting-edge blend of vitamin C, zinc, and Wellmune in convenient single-serving packets to help strengthen your immune system, which is obviously something we're all keen to do right now. So get your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco or order online today. Get 25% off. 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code ROSS.
Ross.
ROSS at checkout. 25% off anything you order when you get better hydration today using promo code ROSS at liquidiv.com.
I have changed up, Ross, my entire life because I now, if I ever drink, if I have one beer even, I go home and I drink a Liquid IV every time.
Just to help with the hydration
And I don't get
element.
hungover.
There you go. How about that? I have a random question, something I was thinking about during that last ad read to ask you before our next segment that I'd love input from our listeners on as well on social media. At WR Bolen everywhere, at Jared Borislow. Will our children's children ever be able to write or even be able to write the English language? And the reason it popped into my head is because I wrote on the whiteboard behind Jared, and I wrote 25% off liquidiv.com, code Ross, and that took me 30 minutes. And it looks like trash because my handwriting is abysmal. I can't read my own handwriting. So when I'm thinking about my kids and my kids' kids, like a few reasons. First being, can't read my own handwriting. Second, our education system is trash. And third, technology. We're all typing and texting and tweeting, and it's the main reason our handwriting has all gone to shit. Unless you work a job where you are required to write by hand every day, which is not very many jobs anymore. And even then, doctors, for example, theirs just degrades into nonsense by the time they're ready to retire. You can't even fucking read it. It's chicken scratch. Like some of the great note takers of all time, they'll tell you, like when you go back and read through their manuscripts and their notes, you cannot read, other humans could not read these people's notes. It's almost like having your own language. And that's the point I'm approaching with my trash handwriting. So I asked the question, will our kids' kids be able to write the English language?
I think they will be able to because they'll know what all the letters look like and they can just kind of look at them and draw them. But I think their handwriting, like you're going to have the best handwriting of anybody born, like better handwriting than anybody born after the year 2045.
Right? I can't imagine that's a focus for many kids. I mean, I'm sure you still learn it in school, obviously, but I know they don't do cursive anymore, for example, because that was a massive waste of time that they never should have taught us, and it screwed my handwriting even further.
Cursive, like, I will never understand why they taught everybody cursive. I've never once
They were trying to
used
be
it.
fancy. They were trying to be fucking fancy.
Whose idea was that to put that into the curriculum of everybody in the freaking United States?
And what doesn't make sense is, like, in the South especially, where we've had major issues with curriculum, like, how the hell was somebody like, what we really need for these kids is classy handwriting, cursive. That's what we need. But also, let's leave out some of the more important historical lessons about, you know, things like slavery.
Yeah.
But cursive, let's make sure they get at least 2 to 3 years of focus on that because it's going to be huge for them. What the hell? Any other, wiping my ass would have been a better class.
Like, oh, here's these fancy boy letters. Look, you're cool now. Okay.
Great. Oh, hey, you just graduated the 5th grade. Congratulations. Super duper. Now I have fucking curvy handwriting.
How many, those letters, some of them are so dumb. The G, the cursive G.
The Z? What the hell, guy? Why'd you do that? Who invented this shit?
I don't even remember what the cursive Z looks like right now, top of my head.
Unless you're making wedding invitations and you want to be a calligrapher, what the fuck? Which ask us when we're children. Let us choose. The right to choose to not learn cursive, which apparently now they've just done away with altogether.
My least favorite trend is the cursive, like, monograms. And I think the only reason those got popular is because people were like, fuck, I need to do something with this cursive. And so in the South,
Put it on stuff.
Oh, Lily Pulitzer, floral design.
There's a whole damn brand they built off that. Flower patterns and monograms in cursive.
And Lily Pulitzer's logo, it's in cursive.
I bet you sorority girls are like 99.9% of the active cursive using population.
That is very, very true. 100%.
And now it's time for insane headlines of the day. Here's our first one from Reuters. Richard Sackler says Purdue family did not contribute to opioid epidemic. Now, I just want to get into the nitty-gritty of why this is ridiculous before I make jokes. Again, from Reuters. Former Purdue Pharma president Richard Sackler, Dick Sackler, said on Wednesday that his family's reign over the OxyContin maker did not contribute to the national opioid epidemic and downplayed his role in a marketing strategy that prosecutors said led to some unsafe opioid prescriptions. And by some, they mean a fucking shit ton. When Sackler was asked Wednesday by an attorney for the state of Washington, which opposes the deal, whether the Sackler family or Purdue bears any responsibility for the crisis, he responded with a firm no. The Sacklers have long denied wrongdoing in connection with the opioid-related lawsuits that led to the bankruptcy. Purdue has pleaded guilty to fraud and kickback charges. Richard Sackler was also questioned on Wednesday about the Evolve to Excellence program, which, according to federal prosecutors, encouraged Purdue sales representatives to increase marketing to, quote, extreme high-volume prescribers, end quote. I urge you to go watch Crime of the Century on HBO Max. That will tell you pretty much everything you need to know about Richard Sackler, the Sackler family, and Big Pharma as a whole. This is the equivalent of me pulling down my pants right now, taking a shit on the floor, and then Jared asking, did you have anything to do with this human poo on the floor that I just watched come from your bum? And me saying firmly, no. More than 500,000 Americans have died since 1999 from opioid overdoses, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And the Sackler family is among the shittiest humans to ever walk the face of the earth, and that's an opinion coming from me, not Reuters. These people are awful. The fact that they're still refusing to bear responsibility for such an egregious and obvious crime is insulting. It's insulting, and it's like it's so bad that I'm almost shocked that people aren't like actively like seeking to whack Dick Sackler. Like, this dude is such an asshole. Like, it's so brazen to, in court, say that your family should bear no responsibility for the opioid epidemic when you created the very drug and the marketing schemes and pushed through the FDA regulations around the prescribing of the drug that was the bulk of the epidemic, like, that is still ongoing, by the way. It's still a major fucking problem that we haven't done all that much to solve. These prescriptions are still being handed out willy-nilly, left and right, and Big Pharma is still pushing all kinds of other shit. It's just like this one drug, Oxy, is now very difficult to get. But as a whole, the problem is ongoing.
They're trying to go the NRA route, right? Of like, oh, guns don't kill people, people kill people.
That is the exact route they have chosen, yes.
Pills don't.
We just create a product.
Yeah.
People are killing themselves with it, but that is not our fault.
They're trying to say pharmaceutical companies don't kill people. People taking the product they made that was heavily marketed to them and their doctor told them to get because their doctor was incentivized to buy more of it.
That we used like quasi-illegal schemes to get the labeling changed on so that more people could be prescribed to it by hiring current and former FDA employees. Yeah, it's a fucking...
That kills people.
That's why it's insulting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, dude, we're like, Dick, we're not... Like, we're idiots, but we're not that stupid.
His name's Dick Sack.
And your name is Dick Sackler, dude. Like, maybe just go on a long walk. Do the Lieutenant Dan into the ocean, bro.
There's the Riddler, right? There's the Hamburglar.
Yeah.
And then there's the Dick Sackler. History's greatest villains.
I made this next headline myself. Elon Musk is going to kill us all.
Oh, I disagree, Ross.
What, you like this little robot thing he's doing?
Yeah, you can have sex with it, right?
No, Jared, it's not a sex robot. I tried to explain this before we started recording, and you weren't listening. It's for menial tasks.
Oh.
They haven't described what those tasks are yet, but like disgusting things that you don't want to do. I think like take out the trash or clean toilets, which would put me out of business quickly.
Well, a lot of women would say having sex with me is a disgusting thing they don't want to do. So maybe I can make the robot work.
Fair argument. Fair argument. The one thing I noticed, and for those of you who are unaware, because you, I guess, don't have the internet, which would be shocking because you're listening to a podcast that requires the internet to acquire.
But you did tell them to unplug.
True, I did tell you to unplug, so maybe you can't use Google right now. Elon Musk and announced that Tesla is getting into the AI robot building realm, and he had some dude come out in like a suit pretending to be one of them. Honestly, this guy's a huge fan of like putting out the news on stuff that's so far off still, but he can't help himself. Like with the Cybertruck, this thing is still not out. We announced it like 2 fucking years ago, I feel like. But it always happens. It's like the SpaceX thing when he announced it and everybody was like, okay, dude, like, maybe just focus on the robot cars. No, he made it happen. Like SpaceX is a huge part now of our entire country's space exploration journey and is working hand in hand with the government. And it's something you have to tip your cap to him for at this point, as is Tesla with the cars and the way they've disrupted the industry and are now forcing every other automaker to adjust and do EV. Not that they were like the first or the only automaker doing that, but they are the one that forced the big shift. And then didn't get invited to Biden's electronic vehicle conference, which is just kind of another slap in the face.
The one thing I don't like Elon Musk for is that, he came up with the Cybertruck, got a lot of press, isn't out yet, like you said, but it led to a lot of people calling me the Cybercuck.
It did.
And that's been harmful.
And tough for you, which maybe we see Elon in court for one day if things don't improve, because I'm sick of seeing my friends suffer, and my co-host.
I want my day in court, Elon.
Elon, since you wouldn't come on the show, you dick. Busy much building AI robots. So anyway, the one thing I did notice about these is it looks like there's the face is a screen.
Yes.
So I think you're going to be able to pick it to look like whatever you want, which is hilarious because I'm going to make mine look like my ex-wife and clean my house. No, but seriously, I think you can make it look whatever you want. So if you're not here, let's say you're on vacation, Jared, I can make it look like you and take it out back and spank its tight little ass.
Is the ass going to be tight? Can we like customize ass on this robot?
So the real thing I did notice that actually does matter is, the immediate fear is, oh, good, they're going to kill us all, like the headline I made up. But these are actually pretty, like, we could take it. That's an important part of it.
I heard Elon was designing them specifically so that they couldn't be like hacked and made to beat up humans.
That's a big part. I mean, they need to be sure, that they can't be turned into an army. But the point is, even if they were turned into an iRobot style Will Smith situation, I feel very confident that even the least athletic and brooding of us, that's not the right adjective, would do a number on these things.
So is this legitimately like supposed to replace like a Roomba? Like it's going to be, you're telling me in like 5 years, I could walk into your house and there's just a goddamn robot walking around dusting stuff?
No, I think he's going to do the toilets. He's going to take out the trash. He's going to pick up the dog shit. He's going to wipe my ass. And I'm going to put different faces for each of these activities, to be clear. More on that later. But yeah, it's supposed to be for like, stuff that we don't want to do, but that could save time and energy. And then, it just plugs in right next to your car or whatever. And then one day it wakes up in the middle of the night, once it's activated by Elon, comes into your room slowly, and jacks you off while you sleep. Jared, if you know anything about me, it's likely you know my dogs, 2 8-year-old toy Aussies, Bruce and Bella. I love them like family. I want them taken care of, which is why I'm so stoked about our sponsor, Jinx, now the official food and treat provider of all Bolen Media dogs, including Jared's awesome dog, Millie. Folks, this is very simple. Our modern dogs do more sleeping and lounging than they do hunting and working. And to keep our pups healthy and happy, most modern kibble falls short on the nutrition that dogs need. Real quality ingredients without the added fillers. Dog parents, meet Jinx, the internet's fastest growing dog wellness brand, your dog's new favorite kibble, treats, and dental chews with recipes proven to support digestion, immunity, and heart health. Designed by dog parents, formulated by pet nutritionists, and approved by veterinarians, and loved by dogs. Jinx. Seriously, though, we have 2 toy Aussies, a giant 90-pound Doberman, a Cavalier Pomeranian, and an Aussie Doodle, all loving Jinx over here. And as Jared has told us in past episodes, Millie didn't used to be like a fervent eater.
Nope.
She's all over the Jinx. My boy Harvey is laying down to eat his Jinx as if it is the best part of his day that he cannot wait for, and he's relaxing and crushes the entire bowl every time. Bruce and Bella love it. They're all loving it.
And I love the subscription service because I don't want to, oh my God, I'm at a dog food. I got to go to a freaking Walmart and lug around a 20-pound bag. It ships right to my door.
And it's always when it's feeding time that you recognize that you're now out, so your dogs are either having to skip a meal or you're having to run to wherever the closest convenience store is and grab some shitty food off the shelves. Don't put yourselves or your dogs in that position, Jared. Don't do it. Try Jinx and get 40% off your first subscription order at thinkjinx.com/RBP. That's THINKJINX.com/RBP. Your dog deserves a cleaner kibble designed for modern doghood that they actually want to eat, and you can feel good about feeding them. Your dog will love it or your money back. What are you waiting for? 40% off at thinkjinx.com/RBP today. Support your fur family and our podcast at the same time. THINKJINX.com/RBP. So I mentioned it earlier on the show that the milk crate challenge has exploded across the entire internet. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, you can't avoid it. It's everywhere.
I first saw this yesterday, and correct me if I'm wrong. The entire challenge is you somehow acquire a vast amount of milk crates.
Looks like you need at least like 12? 10, 12?
No, I think it goes like...
There's like 5 on the bottom, 4, 3, 2, 1, something like that. I don't know. It's big, though. You're building a big-ass pyramid of milk crates, which I think requires you to, like, what? Go to your local grocery store, drive behind it, load up the pickup, and then go home? Like, who the hell just has milk crates sitting around in 2021 is what I'm asking.
The places I see milk crates the most, oddly enough, are convenience stores, and they're usually from, like, Pepsi, so they can move the 2 liters in, I think.
Ah, so not so much from actual milk anymore as they were back in the day, because big milk has started to be squashed because they poisoned our minds and bodies with their propaganda when we were teens by smearing white substances across the mustachios of all of our favorite A-listers, including Mark McGuire.
And it's the sleeper cell, which made people, number 1, get milk, and number 2, be horny. And that's why a lot of people say milk is actually, like, owns a lot of porn companies.
It's why I have a big bowl of cereal every night before bed, and now I no longer drink cow or goat-created milk.
Yeah, so Ross and I, we actually no longer have animal milk. What we do is we actually bought a milking table.
And that's where we make our milk. Got milk? But, yeah, so this milk crate challenge thing is seemingly pretty stupid. You stack up a shit ton of milk crates, and someone has to cross the top of the milk crates without falling down. And it's very difficult. You have to have good balance. The milk crates are shaky. You have to build them structurally, so that they're stable. And the videos are funny for a number of reasons. One, because everyone's trying it, so you'll see super unathletic people doing it and, like, either make it and you're stoked for them or fall hilariously, which is number 2, people falling hilariously. Which brings me to my first question about this, which is, like, most things that cause mass, like, unsafe behavior, we immediately rise up and squash, like eating Tide Pods, for example. This is being embraced on a level that, like, I mean, they're showing it on, like, Sports Center, like JVG's all over it and shit. Dude, people are eating it from 10 feet up in some instances, and some of these people weren't meant to fall hard. They're not built for that.
Kevin Clancy had a very good take, and it's like, the crazy thing about the milk crate is that when you're going up there, they're all wobbling and they feel like they're going to break. But the second that you're about to fall onto it, it's the sturdiest thing of all time. It'll just break your back.
It's like when you're, you're in the water and it's nice and you're swimming around, but then you get on a jet ski and you go 60, and if you fall off that fucker, it's like landing on concrete. Tubing is probably the better example that people are familiar with.
Very similar.
Yeah, so it just looks like more dangerous than most of the stupid challenges and things that we've had arise. Like, can you spin this bottle top off of this bottle, or can you flip this bottle and make it land on its fucking feet? This is like, can you either walk across this thing in an interesting way, like I saw a guy doing it while rolling a blunt, which is one of the more impressive things I've ever actually seen. He succeeded, made it from side to side, and rolled the blunt. But I don't need a broken wrist added to my list of issues right now.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us do.
I think this, like, a lot of these viral challenges, you got the ice bucket challenge, right? That's pretty low key.
That was for ALS, though. That had, like, a purpose.
Yeah, then you had the Harlem Shake, harmless.
Which that was for Blippy to shit on his friend. That had a purpose.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Like,
I'm sorry, Jared.
Most trends like this are harmless, like the regular Harlem Shake, but this is like Blippy level Harlem Shake.
Yeah.
This is not
If the Harlem Shake had been everybody has to poo on their friend, we would have stopped that. So I'm not understanding how the challenge of everybody has to break their wrist or forearm or shatter their collarbone is acceptable.
The biggest injury I'm seeing is like broken ribs from people who their legs go out from under them, but their body flips right on top of the milk crates and they land like... Did you see the video of the dude who was doing it and a kid came and kicked over the milk crates and he fell down like 8 feet and ate shit?
Yes, that's an example of one that's getting reposted by like major mainstream Instagram accounts like ESPN, where I'm like, whoa, why are y'all promoting this? This one's not cool. That old man was trying to cross the crates and this fucking punk-ass kid kicked it out from under him, and they made the caption like, old timer was taking too long for the kids. Swag.
This is a funny take coming from the guy who posted countless videos of kids running over their friends with golf carts.
Yeah, but that was my job. We did instigate this nationwide issue that, like, all right, so we ran this account that had millions and millions of followers at the time, and I'm not even going to say what it was, all right? If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. It was for college kids, though. It was a humor account for college kids. And a lot of it was college kids behaving inappropriately and doing dangerous things, like, you know, like shotgunning a beer through their eye holes or something. And oftentimes actually butt chugging. So what was this one we just brought up?
This was hitting people with golf carts.
Oh, yeah. So
Golf
at
is
some
fun
point,
was one of them.
we got one that was a dude running over his friend with a golf cart when he was in his backswing.
Exactly.
And we were like, damn, that's really funny. And we put it up. And then we kept getting more and more. And then eventually we had to stop putting them up because it became a legal liability. And one of our lawyers actually advised us to stop posting those videos because somebody's going to get hurt or die. And they're going to possibly be able to hold us responsible for, causing this challenge. In this case, the challenge was to run your friend over with a golf cart. And man, it got out of control. It was the Will Ferrell and Anchorman gif. We were all in the office just like, wow, that escalated quickly.
Do you remember the most popular video ever posted to that account? The poop shotgun?
The poop shotgun. I'll never forget it. Yeah, how could I forget?
I'm looking through my emails and then we see this video and it starts off normal. Kids on the toilet, a lot of toilets, he's sitting on the toilet. His buddy opens the door, hands him a beer. I think he cavemans it against his head, shotguns it, which I'm like, okay, this is a normal video.
Pops the lid, shotguns the beer, pants are down around his ankles, right?
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, normal video. He stands up and shoots, and this is not diarrhea like Blippi. He shoots a full turd
out of his two-hole, like he ejects it at the toilet at least. I don't think it goes in.
It doesn't go in.
It doesn't go in, but it's one of the most like ridiculous. It's just one of those videos you see it and you're like, I'll never unsee that. It's so funny. It shouldn't exist, but I don't know what. And it really was probably the single funniest piece of content we ever got to watch working at that job.
And it's the best performing. It got over 68,000 comments on Instagram.
And at that point was like, it'd be like 2 million now.
Yeah.
It was insane.
And then later on, somebody, I've told them what I used to do. And the first thing they said to me was, wait, You're the guy who posted poop shotgun?
It's one of your claims to fame.
Yep.
You should put that in your Instagram bio.
I posted poop shotgun. Ross captioned it. I came over to him. I literally saw it. It was like a video. I went, oh my God. I walk over to Ross's room and I go, Ross, or his office at the time. I was like, Ross, you need to see this. Like, I have to show you this. Can I please post this? And Ross looks at it, knew it was too funny to not post, like regardless of if we were going to have to get taken down, whether we were going to get our account suspended for posting it. He was like, you have to do it. Just make the caption poop shotgun because his friends yell at him, poop shotgun.
Yeah.
And then I posted it and then the rest is history.
But the thing is, that's clearly something these guys did like on a regular basis, which is weird. I'm also wondering in my head now, is there a group of billboard lawyers that are out there like, if you've been injured in a milk crate challenge or similar internet meme, call this number and we'll get you millions of dollars.
Personal injury lawyer. Who can they sue?
A personal injury lawyer specifically for internet challenges, though.
That would be a funny YouTube sketch.
Who do they go after? That's the question. The originator? Remember when all those guys were suing Fortnite over putting their dances into the game?
Yeah.
This is the reverse of that. It's the backswing. For every two, there is a fro. For every high, there is a low. And that's what makes the world go round.
Yeah, I will personally not be participating in the milk crate challenge.
I won't either. This is for young men and women to participate in. This is not for the olds. Anyone over 28 should be very cautious of participating in this. I believe it is an ageist challenge. But if your children or the young millennial or Gen Z trash are pressuring you to climb a stack of milk crates, I say just say no.
This
like
is
Nancy
the new,
Reagan. Just say no.
The new drug is the milk crate challenge.
Yeah.
You must say no.
Just say no. Hit the vape. But say no to the milk crate challenge.
That's not legal advice.
No, it's not. It's also not medical advice.
It's also not advice.
It's not advice
it's a joke.
at all.
It was a joke. Don't hit the vape.
Sometimes we do jokes. Like the milking table earlier. It was a half a joke. Because we don't actually use it for that purpose, but we do have a milking table.
Exactly.
Because we love Dave, season 1. What else did I want? Oh, the shoes I'm wearing right now. Guess where I got these? You'll never guess. No,
the
Jake
trash can.
Shitto.
Oh, wait, really?
I bought these shoes from Shitto. Shitto now sells me shoes. I don't know how this is Here's the position I'm in. If you texted me and said, I have this pair of shoes in your size, and they're brand new, and they probably look like your style, I'm in a position where I can't say no because I have a problem. But I love these.
What
Shitto.
are they?
Shitto, these completely worked out. I really don't know. They're Yeezy V3s, Yeezy 700 V3s.
Those look like they're 75% foam.
They feel like they're 75% foam, which is the thing I'm stoked about. I can't really tell if they look cool. I feel like I'm an alien basketball player. Like that's the vibe.
Yeah.
But they feel phenomenal on my feet, so I'm happy about this purchase. Shitto
has some sort of amazing way that he wins every sneaker lottery. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think it's for the sneakerheads listening, it's probably obvious what he's got going. Shitto's a smart guy, knows a lot about technology, and that's all I'll say about that. The reason I'm so stoked on the shoes being comfortable is because at 34, Jared, how old are you?
21.
Okay, 21. Have you started to have random pains in your body yet?
I'm 28, and yes, Ross, I had to go to a physical therapist because I injured my shoulder disc golf.
Well, that was an injury. What I mean is, like, have you noticed that you're getting older yet physically?
Yeah. It takes a little bit longer now to stand back up if I'm bent over. Yeah.
Right, stuff like that. So that's the first phase of getting older. The first one is like you'll randomly feel something hurt, like in your side or like in some organ, and you're like, well, that can't be good. And then time passes and you're like, oh shit, this is just aging. I'm just getting old. Because that doesn't happen when you're a kid. There's not just fucking random pain in some spot in your body. God knows what it is now. It's probably a milk dud in there that I ate in 1999. But then the next phase is like actually being more susceptible to injury. Like it's probably where you're at with your shoulder injury and disc golf and all that. Then the next phase after that, which is the one I just entered, and it fucking sucks, is where shit hurts. And not like, oh, that was a random sharp pain that went away. Like it just fucking hurts. Like a dull pain at all times. Now I've got two. I had this shoulder, my left shoulder, which is not a thing I use all that often, so I don't really give a shit. It hurts when I try to sleep. Because I'll switch sides and lean over on it, and I'm like, fuck. That's the only time it bothers me. But then I did something this weekend at some point with my back, and who knows what it was. You know, I could have been picking up a 30-pound 2-year-old. I could have been getting my back blown out in a pegging situation. It could have been any number of things. But point is, my back is now injured, and it's not injured. There's nothing to fix. I'm going to go to a chiropractor for the first time. All right? But I'm not happy about it, and I don't think anything's going to change. I think I'm just older, and I think I'm stressed. And you can carry that shit like in your back. Big Pussy Bump and Sarah did it in The Sopranos.
My favorite thing about this is up until less than a year ago, Ross had never gotten a massage. And
now I'm about to go to a chiro.
You're about to get an adjustment.
See, what I think has happened here is I've caved. I went and got the massage, and I became treat yourself guy. And that fucking massage is what set all this off. Now the rest of my body's falling apart because it's been relaxed. It should have stayed the stiff, glued up fucking Tin Man style piece of work that it was. Now I'm loosey-goosey, but I'm falling apart.
Yeah. Your reasoning behind the massage thing was like you don't like to be touched. Prepare to have a man crack every bone in your body. And I don't mean like, in half. I mean like the joints. Ross, do you watch videos of like Shaq getting adjusted?
I know that's what's bad about this. I know too much. I've seen too much. I've seen videos like that exact one you just referenced, to like big men like Shaq getting adjusted. I remember seeing Yao get adjusted at one point. And like this is not a game. Like if you're not a back injury person, this is not an injury. I'm trying to do mental. I'm mentally trying to defeat it because I can't become back pain guy. Once you enter that world, it's like owning a dog and being a dog person. It's a whole part of your personality. Back pain guy. Got to recommend the chiropractor.
Oh, my lumbago's acting up.
Got to talk about pieces of the back that normal folks don't even know about.
The lumbar.
Bring up your fucking lumbar chair support thing. Try to sell me a pillow for my asshole. I don't even, that's hemorrhoids. The point is, I'm trying desperately to avoid becoming that, but it's too late. Like old man pain is a part of my life now, and I'm going to have to go to a chiropractor, and I'm thinking about going and getting, what's it when they stick the needles in you?
Oh, acupuncture.
I'm thinking about doing that too. I'm just gonna do everything, Jared.
Yeah, I was
Once
told.
you've been pegged, it's like, why not?
I was told to do acupuncture for my shoulder. I was like, no, I'm good.
Should we go together?
No. Why don't we acupuncture each other?
Without any expertise. Or
I'll buy
preparation.
like a 35 pack of metal darts, and
Let's go. I've got a bunch of toothpicks in the cabinet we could use. You want to hear a story to close out today?
Yeah.
I had a dear friend named Will
He was a deer. Like,
Yeah.
how did you befriend a deer?
in the forest, and he was I guess you could say we were quasi roommates. I lived on his couch for a while in college. I had a dorm room, mind you. I just didn't like staying there because I was 21, and it's this whole story. But so me and Will used to drink a lot. We'd get real fucked up, like way drunker than people should get. And we'd do that a lot with like bottles of scotch. Like we'd crush bottles of scotch. We were just doing like, we just thought we were frat, cool college dudes. We were just alcoholics. And at one point, me and Will got really into playing darts. So we had a dartboard in his room, and we'd pregame in there with the dartboard, and like then sometimes in the middle of the party, we'd randomly like challenge each other to a dart game, or like we'd end up in his room or whatever, playing darts. Sometimes we'd get girls to go play with us, yada yada. You get the picture. But we were degenerate, and one day, out of anger, I threw a dart at Will, and it stuck right in his foot. Right in his foot, like stuck in his foot. And he was a maniac and a drunk, so he didn't feel shit. He didn't care. He threw one right back at me, and it stuck directly into my forearm. And from that day, it was this thing where we would throw these at each other, and they would stick, man. But we just didn't care. I don't know what that is about being like young and drunk that makes you think stuff like that is funny. But in hindsight, if I walked into a room and two young men were drunk and throwing darts at each other, I would be terribly concerned for the future.
What if you walked in and you just saw some furry little guy snorting a line of Country Time lemonade powder?
Also concerning behavior. What were we doing?
I don't know.
We were supposed to be learning about stuff and things, Jared. I didn't learn shit fuck. They taught me some Photoshop. I know very little Photoshop, but they did teach me some of it. That was like $100,000. A lot of legal fees in mine. But anyway, again, I'm sorry for that, Pop. My dad in particular, I feel like he really suffered a financial blow there because I was like, let's throw darts at each other instead of like, let's go to class and pass. It is what it is, though. You live, you learn.
Yep.
Anyway, I have old man pain now. Final full week of Call Your Grandparents month.
Do it.
Don't forget to call your grandparents if you got them. If you don't, a lot of people, every year, it's like people tweet at me, I don't have grandparents. And I'm like, well, obviously, a lot of us don't have grandparents, and that's sad, and it sucks. But call somebody else's grandparents or a random nursing home and ask to speak to Becky, or what's the name from old
Gertrude.
people? Gertrude. Or
Walter.
Yes, there you go, Walter. So there's a few name options. Throw those at a nursing home, and you should be solid. Or maybe you have an older family member who's not a grandparent. Call them and connect with them. Maybe it's your parents. Just somebody from the oldest generation you know.
Over the 60 minimum.
Yeah, this can't be somebody who's in their 30s. We don't know shit. You got to talk to somebody who's like 3 times older than us. Like my 93-year-old grandma. That's where knowledge comes from, not from a child who has experienced fucking very little in life. So call your grandparents is very important. There are also a lot of them having to deal with lonely circumstances right now, not able to go out or do their activities they normally would have done, and they've been in that spot for a long time. When you're older, the more active your mind is, the better you'll feel. So one way to stay active in your mind is to talk to your grandkids on the phone. Call them up today. Spend at least 20 minutes on the phone with them.
Minimum. I literally call them up. First off, you're going to make their whole week 100%, and you're going to make your own whole week.
That's the part of it that's important that you don't realize is your whole will become week. But while it seriously does make their whole week, it will make your whole week too.
So what I want you to do, and this is something that you will, like, if you do this, it's something that you will be thankful you did for the rest of your life. Ask them for their life story. Say, hey, like,
tell me about your life.
Can you tell me about what it was like growing up? What was your childhood like?
What it was, and here's one. If you're like, man, these are too generic, the questions. Say, what was it like for you when you were my age?
Exactly. And that will be...
That feedback is so cool, man.
The perspective you're going to gain is insane, and you'll be able to use that with your own life.
Yes. And it's also one of those things where, like, you'll hear how so much has changed, but then also almost nothing has changed in other ways, and it's a really cool learning experience. So every August, all August long, we do Call Your Grandparents Month. This August, no different. If you're new here and you have not called your grandparents this August, or even if you have, even if you've already fulfilled your obligation of calling them at least once, call them again. Get another one in. work another grandparent. Hit them up. They want to hear from you. They've got a lot of information that you can use, and it'll make you feel a lot better. Like Jared said, it will vastly improve your week, along with making their whole week. That's it. That's it for today's show. Jared and I appreciate you very much. We'll be back Wednesday. Support our sponsors. Today we have 3. Jinx. Get your dog food. ThinkJinx.com/RBP, 40% off. Of course, liquidiv.com, code Ross for 25% off any purchase. And Birddogs.com, code RBP for that free whistling football with your order of the most comfortable pants or shorts in the entire world. Patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast is where you can get another additional 3rd exclusive brand new and advertisement free episode featuring Billy and the Bone Man. Every Friday, Jared and I do a 3rd episode. If you've been listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts your whole life, that's awesome. But you've been missing out on the 3rd Friday, which oftentimes will end up being my favorite episode of the week because it is a little bit more relaxed, unhinged, and free-flowing. So
join over 1,100 happy customers on our Patreon.
1,100 on Patreon now. Patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast. Now we're trying to get up to 2,000 by the end of the year. It's a lofty goal.
Lofty.
Very lofty goal. But I promise you, you know what? If you're already on Patreon, tweet or Instagram at Jared and I and tell us why you're there and how you've enjoyed it. And we will share that on Twitter or retweet or Instagram share, whatever the fuck, to show other people what it is that you're getting out of it, or maybe read some of those and share them next episode, because I do want y'all to see that people are getting their money's worth here. The episodes are great. You're getting additional mental health minisodes if you're in the Enforcer or OG tiers.
2 more of those this month.
No matter which tier you're in, you get a monthly column, which is going to be coming this week, updating you on the comings and goings of Bolen Media. A monthly Bolen Media update on patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast written by me. And then we do 5 additional columns for everybody in the Enforcer and OG tiers as well, all of which will be coming this week as well. They tend to all come at the end of the month. So at the end of the month, you get this massive influx of additional content, and I promise you, people have been loving it. So you're seeing our numbers go up on Patreon for a reason, and we need them to continue going up. So if you love the show, if you want to support us, and if you want more in exchange, go to patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast today. It's the #1 way outside of supporting our sponsors directly by using the codes and the URLs that you can ensure that Jared and I can continue to grow Bolen Media and do RBP every week and do it to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah, thank you again, listeners, for allowing for this to be my full-time job.
Yeah, y'all are amazing. Jared and I love doing this. It really is an honor to get to come in here and talk to y'all and entertain you and interact with you on an even deeper level on social media, on Discord, on Patreon, on Twitch. So we appreciate you. Come back Wednesday. Tell people about the show. Share RBP with those you know. And until our next episode, keep it real out there. Stay safe. Keep laughing, smiling, dancing, and coming.